Hello and welcome everybody out there in YouTube and D&D land. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Before we jump into the action, happy Easter for anybody who celebrates, and for anybody who doesn't, happy day before all the candy becomes 80% off day. Very excited for that one personally myself. It's the one time of year that I actually buy excess candy. It's great. Anyways, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All of those things help us out tremendously. If you're interested in supporting our community a little bit further, consider becoming a member here in our YouTube channel. Memberships start at just $2 a month, and you gain access to some really cool emotes. Lastly, if we have open slots available, be sure to reach out. Or we do have open slots available. Be sure to reach out and let me know if you are interested in playing in our community. Without further ado, go ahead and give us that recap. Lily?
Well, last time on Daddy Issues, I guess we're still called Daddy Issues, huh?
No. Daddy Issues is the campaign, but right now the story arc is Beyond Boundaries.
Well, last time on our Daddy Issues campaign, we, as a group, were finishing up with our celebration of Bernie's wedding as we attended it, and we saw Bernie get hitched, place that metaphorical shackle on himself so that he was connected with the one he loved forever, till death do them part, and so on and so forth. And it was beautiful. And also just a bunch of shenanigans along the way, like a lot, that most of our characters probably don't remember due to how much alcohol was being passed around. But for the most part, a memorable event. And afterwards, everyone went on with their lives for their different goals. With, if I recall correctly in the downtime stuff, Tulsha returning to spreading the word of Mama Vusi, Adendu and Mirian continuing their collaboration for dead stuff. Yeah. I'm a little more vague on that one. And Bernie, being married, going on a honeymoon, having his child, and for what I understand, retiring from the adventuring life, as he is now a family man with family values. And Lily, going back to her laboratory and apprentice and assistants in ZODIAC Kitchell to continue with her possibly world-changing project, a magical generator that could what's the word for it? Change the way that magic items, magic stuff works in the world. Something like that.
Nope.
Couldn't think of the words right.
How to perpetuate magical energy for items and objects in the world, henceforth.
In an indefinite way, yeah. The energy crisis.
Perpetuate, yeah. But with you aspiring to that, Lily, Bernie enjoying himself with his family, now establishing, having a child born during the downtime, and having his wife and just enjoying their lives together. Tulsha researching further into the reality singularity, setting up a number of different churches across the world to Mama Vusi, establishing her as a much more dominant religion and dealing with the consequences and politics of setting up a new church inside of a landscape. It's really exhausting. Outside of that, we also have Mirian. Oh, I opened up his character sheet, dumbass. I give it an hour.
Enjoy the lag.
Yeah. Roll 20. Just give me an option to make it client side.
Never make too much money.
They would make too much money. Fuck. Tosha Adendu, also establishing her religion across the realms and learning more about modern history as a whole and assisting other people in their various endeavors and goals. Then, of course, we have Mirian, who during the downtime managed to teach his whites a lot more information, as well as research a different singularity, trying to establish more information with that. The necromancy one. And then conduct a handful of other tests and experiments. And all is well for the year of peace that the realm seems to exude after the Empire has fallen. It's lovely to see how well that people are growing into this new world, seeing how the Empire is rebuilding and restructuring itself while everybody else in the world is watching them suspiciously, but also giving them the opportunity to make amends for the wrong things that they were doing and preaching under the influence of the most powerful lich, Trent Ikathon. Lily. There we go. As you stand in your workshop, surrounded by the hums of magical energy and the scent of exotic incense, excitement courses through your circuitry. You have spent months meticulously crafting the components of this powerful source, each piece imbued with your hopes and dreams of unlocking infinite magical potential. With eager anticipation, you begin the final assembly, weaving threads of arcane energy together with the precision of a master craftsman. As the last piece clicks into place, a surge of powerful energy courses through the room. This is anticipated. It causes the air to crackle with energy coursing around and arcing off of each of the various components of this incredibly large contraption. Your heart begins, or where your heart would be, begins to race with excitement. And visions of boundless magic begin dancing in the forefronts of your mind. With a flick of your wrists, you channel your own magical energy into this device, expecting to witness its glorious awakening. But instead of the triumphant surge of power you anticipated, something else happens. The core holding the energy begins to shake and tremble and move as everything courses into it. The connectors of this large device to the energy core itself begin to break and split open. The one corner you cut in all of this. You thought this should work. In theory, it should work, but it's going magnificently awry.
Grant, you pulled the right lever this time, right?
There's only one lever. You uninstalled the other lever.
Well, that's because you kept switching it.
I
kept
can't
falling
pull a
into the
lever that's
trapdoor.
not there. And you see this large arc of energy strike out and starts to break edges of the stonework of the room you are in. As that happens, more of them begin pulsing down into the ground, and you see it creates this small crater of this very large source of energy, and underneath where that crater is, there appears to be a sphere that is crackling with energy as well. As everything is overloading, Grant is going to call out to you. Do we turn it off? Do I turn it off?
Lily is... I think, yeah, Lily would need to do a mental calculation real quick, Joey. Like, is this... does it look like it will still possibly work?
Roll me a Arcana check.
Yeah, and the second thing about that is, if it does work or if it doesn't work, is Grant and also the other assistants, Bran, anyone else going to be harmed by this?
Okay. Arcana. 17. You're beginning to
Oh.
panic.
Lily.
Oh, I rolled a 2. Come on.
Hey, you guys started off strong.
You still have flash. It's been months.
Oh, I was gonna say I did the recap inspiration.
That allows you to roll with advantage, not retroactively reroll.
Fuck, I forgot about that.
Yup.
I still have a viewer viewer inspiration.
Well, thank the person and use it.
Thank you, Argon. Using it's a little soon, but
Dear fucking God.
Hey, you doubled. You doubled.
but I will flash that for 24.
24. If this goes wrong, your assistants are not the only people who are going to die. You're going to die. Eviscerated. There's no remains of anything. And what is the closest city to your location again?
It'd be Zarzith Kittrell.
Yeah. Yeah, if this goes awry, Zarzith and everything else is probably going to be destroyed.
Well, Lily is definitely. It's all right if she gets eviscerated by her own stuff. That's the life of an artificer. But when you affect everyone else around you that way, then you're crossing.
Grant's
the line.
going to scream out, "Are we turning it off or not?"
Turn it off. Shut it down.
All right.
Use the fail-safe emergency button.
Okay, he goes over and pushes the giant red button that you have. And as that happens, the energy begins channeling down into the ground with such an incredible amount of power that is lifting out. And you know, everything about this is working perfectly fine. It is generating the magic. It is trying to perpetuate it. The source can't house it, and the channel rods that you've set up aren't able to course the energy from the device into the source either and withstand it. Those are the only two flaws that you have in all of this. However, as the orb hidden away underneath the ground glows even brighter. Change your name in-game, Ilvorn. And also in Zoom.
You didn't hear it, but that's even better.
What'd you say?
I said, you're working for Lily? Are you insane?
No.
Hey, Lily only takes the best.
So, Therendil. Is that right? Therondil?
Yeah.
Thorndil.
Tharandil.
Sure, Dill. So, Therendil.
Yep.
You are unaware of how long it's been, specifically at least, that you have been working and researching inside of your facility. And as you are walking through, wearing what only somebody as isolated as you would be caught wearing at this time, you walk by the front area where the door has reappeared. It seems to be flickering.
It's mighty strange, isn't it? Yes, it is. Huh. We should go. Should we? Yes, we should. Interesting. Yes, quite interesting. I'll open the door.
Lily, as the device is powered down and the remnants of energy begin to end, you watch as a man steps out of that sphere. My headcanon says wearing tighty whities and a robe that's open, but who knows?
No, he's probably got a bathrobe on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, picture is representative, just probably a bit more, scruffy, or what's the word?
Gruff.
Yeah, rough.
This individual seems to step out of a door that happens out of nowhere, and as you step through, you look around at your castle, and it's different. There's a lot of these mechanical things all around you that you have no recollection of ever persisting in. There's some type of suit of armor in front of you that has like a dragonoid's head, which, I mean, cool, whatever. And you see everything else as the jolt of energy stops. Describe what you look like.
Well, you see what looks like an ancient elven man. He's wearing clothes that are very out of fashion by quite a few hundred years, probably. And he's holding an orb in his left hand. It's kind of a silvery orb, but it glows with a green inner light. And in his right hand, he's holding a very ornate kind of staff. And there's several books around his waist. And he looks in many ways like the archetypical wizard that would be depicted from the Age of Arcanum. He steps out and looks at you, and
Grant,
this is mighty weird.
it is. It's probably about to get weird or strange, Elfman, as
I think this mechanical construction is talking to me. That's interesting. Is
Yeah.
that one of those? What's the name of it? It's those. Warforged. Yes, that's the name. It might be one of those, I think. And he's not talking to someone else, so he's looking around as if talking to someone else.
I was gonna say, as you're pondering, because of the shutdown sequence and stuff, Lily does value safety, and so in case of fire and also foreign objects, some certain things go off in there that fills up this entire room with foam to stop fires and clean things.
So the room is now instantly filled with foam, engulfing the two of you completely.
Oh, interesting. This is strange. I haven't had quite such a vivid dream in... I must be... I don't know. Are you... What sort of dream are you? Pray tell.
I'm in the dream of reality, I guess. Are you okay, old wizard guy?
Reality.
Old elf man.
What? Yes? What?
Grant, I think we've accidentally, like, she turns around to Grant, who's like in the safety room sort of thing, where all the control room.
Yep.
Grant, I think we've accidentally learned how to create elves, old elves.
What?
We might need to fine tune it.
What? Huh? What? He pops his head out and sees the room filled with foam, and then turns on the sprinklers to just soak everything and dissolve the foam very quickly.
Hey, you got a free shower.
And I'm looking there standing, confused but also somewhat amused somehow, as if like, this isn't real. This is... And you soon realize, Lily, that this person is saying every thought he has out loud.
Yeah, I think if we did accidentally learn how to create old elf people, that we need to work on a bit, because he looks a little
You can't create old elves. You can only create young elves, and they're born.
I think he's got a few screws loose, if you get my drift.
Damn, I miss having sex, you know?
So do I. For the first time, like Lily.
Interesting.
Excuse me, what is your name? Naked Elfman?
What?
What
Oh, no,
is
he's
your
got-
name?
I'm not naked.
Yeah,
Wait, is this one of those interactive ones?
Yes, please interact with us. What is your name?
Are you...
See, a name is something somebody calls you. Like, I'm called Grant
Right.
DeRolo.
roll. Let's
Von
see.
Mussel.
What's? Yes, I used to have.
Kurowski.
I used to have one of those. Hang on a second.
Let's
And
call
he
him
brings
Shaft.
I bring up one of my books and look at the binding, and it says Tharondil. Yes, that's my name. Tharondil.
Well, nice to meet you, Therondil. I am Lilixa, Sky Speaker.
That's a very particular name for a Warforged. I thought you only had like serial numbers.
Well, I would be insulted if I knew what you were talking about.
Huh. She doesn't know what I'm talking about. Maybe she's... What?
Also, I think I can read your mind because I do know what you're talking about, kind of.
No, you don't. No, she don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. How can she know?
I know a lot of things.
This one is more powerful than I thought.
It happens.
What happened? Right.
Oh, me being more powerful than you thought.
Hang on, let me just... I start pinching myself in the arm. And on that note, I just gotta go get my pizza before it burns.
Okay.
All right. Well, Grant, while this old elf person's pinching himself, like really hard. Could you maybe send out that message to my sister and brother, specify Mirian and Tolsha, about this?
I'm most going to ask Adendu.
I mean, that's an idea too. Actually, no, that's a good idea because he seems old, so both of them might know each other.
Okay.
But also,
he will send a message. First to you, Mirian. Mirian, you receive a sending from Grant. Salutations. We have a problem. And he sends you a specific coordinate, which is in relation to Zarsith Kittrell. Lily is here. And then another one to Tolsha, and then another one to Adendu.
yeah. Oh, and it's sort of an afterthought after the first message that she hears Grant send. Lily was like, "Oh, tell them that I'll die if they don't show up soon. It's to mess with them and also to add that urgency."
I already
Put a
sent to
circle.
them all.
It just okay. Dang it.
Hang on, stand still, you Warforged. I'll go up and hold the green orb up next to Lily, then poke it once, and then poke her.
Lily's gonna poke you back.
This is this is real, is it?
Oh yeah. Do you want me to slap you to just double check?
No?
Here, let. Well, oh look over there. And when he looks over there, Lily's gonna pinch him in the side, so he doesn't
Ow!
see it coming.
That's...
Yeah. So I guess this must be real since you didn't see that coming and it still hurt, right?
Wait, this is... I recognize this place.
Wait, how do you... What?
This is... Hey, what are you doing here? This is Master Arendir's home.
No, this is my laboratory that I set up in an old castle that was,
this is
pretty decrepit at the time.
Master Arendir's home. That's my quarters over there.
Wait, you mean the bathroom?
What?
Look over, I don't know how big the bedroom is
What?
for Farendil, but it's just a really nice luxury bathroom.
What's the year? What year is it? Do you have years still?
I
Yeah.
mean, yes. What year do you think it is?
Hang on, let me think. Well, according to my calculations, it would be the 7th cycle of 120, so that would be, well, I suppose 840. 840 years since, well, you wouldn't know probably. How old are you?
Oh, in my soul or body?
Yes.
20. Actually, let me double check that now, because I think Lily would have had her birthday by now. Yeah, she'd be 27.
Huh.
Although 2 years old in terms of this body's creation.
Well, what sort of time reckoning do you have right now?
Well, currently it is, and Lily, I don't know, Joe, off the top of
You
my head
rattle
what year
off
it is.
the year, and yeah.
Yeah, but I think the important part would be post calamity.
Sure. I mean, post Vecna is probably the most up to date thing.
Or we just
Yeah, but
reset the calendar after Vecna.
Well,
Yeah.
we did. Okay.
Why not?
Um,
Actually, that'll make my life a lot easier. Why didn't I think of that
So
before?
it's only 128 years?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Lily is
Hmm.
smart
Write it
enough
down, write it down.
to recognize this guy is not quite from the time period.
So,
So she would use at least post calamity to see if that helps.
which calamity do you refer to?
Wait, there's multiple?
Well, there's always a calamity or other.
Well, I guess that's true. I mean, technically it's this date for post Vecna, but
Vecna,
Uh,
that archmage upstart guy?
oh, you know him?
Well, I don't know him. I've heard of him.
Yeah, about this many years back, he, ascended to a state of sort of godhood and almost destroyed the world or took it over until he was stopped by a bunch of heroes that are famous now and also mostly dead, all of them. And, yeah.
Hmm.
Hey, Grant, what's what's the ETA on that, on Adendu?
None of them have replied to me yet.
Does she have a circle? What is Miriam's first question in this super secret base?
No.
So here's the
Jimmy-
problem with that. I'm probably with Adendu at this point, but where the fuck is Tolsha in relation?
Good question. Tolsha, you got the sending.
Yeah, I was gonna.
At the end of this downtime, she'd be finishing the heavy armor training with Bernie.
Very well.
And I was gonna say, Lily probably would not have a teleportation circle, but she
It
would
takes
have
1
given,
year of casting it to have
Yeah.
one, so definitely.
but she
not.
would have given something familiar to Miriam about with it, which is probably like a really creepy stuffed teddy bear.
That's fine. It's just gonna be me and Adendu then, because I can't teleport to Tolsha and then come back.
Wait, I recognize a sending when I see it. What? Who are you talking to? Or who's talking to you?
We're talking to people far away from here.
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
and then
we
in
have,
that
It's-
instance, Miriam and Adendu show up.
we have a code 114, and that's why we have to go through certain protocols.
So you see that there is now a bugbear and an undead person who just appear.
Wait.
Lily, what did you do?
I accidentally created life, I think.
Huh,
Or
the
something.
bugbear talks. That's interesting.
Also,
Beg your pardon.
but I accidentally, good news is, we did not destroy the city accidentally, or anything like that, or even come close to that.
You could have what?
Nothing. But the big thing here is though we accidentally made or conjured this old elf man here in his tidy whities and
Hey.
bathrobe?
I haven't really gone anywhere, but that's not quite true. I've been here, relatively speaking, just not quite here.
All of the things that you entered into the sphere with begin spilling out immediately, just ejecting from it and landing all over the ground everywhere.
There. Okay. Step back a bit.
So what spews out?
Well, there's a whole bunch of papers and books and various knickknacks and just a whole library's worth of research note, looks like.
And skeletal remains?
Some skeletal remains, yes.
Hey Grant, can you go get the whiteboard with all the whiteboards with all those calculations? I need to figure out what the fuck happened.
Yeah, sure.
What exactly were you doing here? I could probably tell you what happens. I just. So, if it's 7 cycles, 840 years ago, then. Right.
Is your character also eating while he's calculating?
Yeah.
Chewing on some pocket bacon.
Pocket jerky! It's like
Pulls it
my
out of the-
thinking jerky, okay?
Wait, why'd you pull it out of the tidy whities?
Right, these are tidy whities of holding, I'll have you know.
Oh no, what are they holding?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Who are you and where did you come from?
Well,
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm just not quite used to your kind speaking so eloquently, or speaking at all, really. Well, aside from savage, guttural cries and anger and all that kind of thing, you know.
yeah. Miriam, this is Thorandildo, and Thorandildo, this is Miriam.
The Tharandil. Miriam.
Does that proc with either Miriam or Adendu? The name?
No, it does not.
Okay.
Oh, Adendu, I'm glad you're here. Thorandil is pretty old, and so I thought maybe you two might know each other's origins. You can tell Lily added the origins part at the end of it as she realizes how that sounded.
Joey, I'm
Wait.
gonna do a quick sending to Lily of like, Lily, I'm at Bernie's place. I can't find a mage. Can you come? If this is really urgent, can you come pick me up and take me to where you're at?
Lily's gonna respond, I'm dying. No, I'll try Tosha, but I might not make it. And then she'll turn to the current situation. Right,
Hang
I'll
on,
be
this
but
is, you're currently experiencing a solstice, right? An apogee solstice? Celestial solstice, whichever one you want.
Joey, are we?
That was a year ago.
No,
well-
it's still cycling. It's a cycle that happens every 46 years. Tolsh is actually the one that has the information, so I'm going to stop.
Right, hold that thought for a second. I'll be right back. And I don't know if anyone's seen Dragon Ball Z Bridge. Lily literally does a little Goku pop out of existence, picks up Tolsha with the teleport, and then pops back.
Well, it could be that the planar convergence has recalibrated back to its, well, at least more similar origin.
So,
Or offset.
Are
from the
you
one I
saying
came from. What?
you step from a different plane of material?
Right. Well, I don't know if are you familiar with the arcane terminology at all?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. What?
Right. Well,
Lily, what did you do?
I accidentally summoned or created an old elf guy. Miriam, you looked like you had some thoughts.
The last Apogee Solstice happened roughly over a year ago, because we know that because of fucking Wyatt's character was trying to use it for something and we passed it during downtime. That's why I remember that. So no, what you have experienced is my sister attempting to apparently create a giant archamic bomb, if I can judge this monstrosity I'm looking at.
No, it's
No,
not
well-
supposed to explode. Usually.
It's meant to. Is it? By the looks of it, it's meant to channel something, right?
Yeah, in fact. And Grant, where's the white? Oh, there we
Huh.
go.
Well, I think I see what may have occurred here.
Oh, actually, sorry. Miriam was the one actually researching the thinning of the veils after handing over the control of everything to the Lyceum. You didn't research it, you just handed it over to them. From what it seems, this event occurring makes the cycle through the universe when you pass by another one of the localized planes. The veil between the two realms thins, and there's usually a small crossover that occurs. It's also when magic becomes incredibly intense and inflated.
And that's happening more often as we get closer to the abyssal event.
Correct.
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this. Lily, I
what that
believe you
means.
might have accidentally stumbled upon a multiplier. The event that is coming seems to be creating temporary apogee-like events across the closer we get to it.
Are you saying some temporal chronology magic sort of bullshit?
It's not temporal. It's spatial. Well, you see, I've been here, but not quite here. You see, I've been my Master Arendir's magnificent mansion became a bit untethered, as it were. I think it was nudged slightly off. And I've, must be at least the 7th cycle then. So that means we should be back to where we were, well, relatively close speaking, at least, when we first exited or left.
Miriam, you may roll a history check to see if you recognize the name Master Arendir.
So if
Gotcha.
I
May I make a
understand-
check as well as an archaeologist?
Damn it.
He's somebody who
And
doesn't
I
have
as well.
ruins.
If I understand what you're
Yes, it
saying,
does.
then
God damn. Adendu, the name is definitely recognized by you. It sounds like a legendary mage that, from your recent studies and research, had a lot to do with the greater spatial spells and their developments, like Magnificent Mansion and things like that. You don't know the specifics behind them, but they were one of the progenitors of those types of spells, or one of the original theory crafters of those spells.
And then you will explain that to the rest, who are willing to listen.
If that is the case, then he's pre-Arcana.
I mean, he
Well,
did say
there
that
were
he-
some who called it that. We just called it the Golden Age, really.
See, and then who does
People
actually
living there
laugh.
don't get to call it that. That's historical.
Well, we know when, at least those of us who have some semblance of intelligence, know that when we're in a golden age and when we're not, you know.
He is very correct.
There is the Dark Ages where the gods and all that, and then you have the Golden Ages with more cerebral individuals in charge.
Yeah, the thing I'm trying to set off. Not a bomb. Hopefully.
Right, well, I think just to clear a few things up for you, when I say I've been here, it's, well, to clear...
You were in a pocket plane
my-
that got untethered from the material plane and thus spent the entire day until Lily's device created enough energy to reconnect it to this material plane, reopening the gateway, allowing you to step through back to the prime material plane. Miriam's a professor. He's not going to
Right, well, yes, there's that, but there's also... it's not just with planes. It's got to do with spatial alignment in regards to the weave. And we've been tidally locked, you see. Well, I have. For quite some time, but yes, that's the gist of it, I suppose. So you do have some insight. Good.
So you was imprisoned in your bedroom?
No. My Master Erendir was trying to see if he could create a pocket plane and then draw said pocket plane into, well, to become a permanent part of our reality, our plane. And, well, it was partially successful, but, we may have miscalculated just how much magical energies would be surging with the solstice.
Oh no, we have another Lily.
Honestly, I thought the same thing, Adendu.
Oh boy, we have another me. Sort
I'm
of.
not a warforged.
No, of intelligence.
I mean, he seemed like an innovator, is what I mean.
Well, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah,
Sure.
just a crazy old innovator person.
I'm not crazy. We're not crazy. We're just. It doesn't matter. What are you doing here in my home? It's. I suppose it's been a while. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, based off the information you gave and the calculations I've looked upon, and I don't know if you want me to roll straight intelligence or anything, Joey, but Lily would have tried to calculate just how much time had passed for him.
I mean, you can theorize. It's not. You
Okay,
don't
yeah,
need like
older than Dendu
800,
at this point.
900 years, give or take.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be more than that, but yeah, like Lily would be like, about in the ballpark of 1,000-ish years. Whole millennia.
Oh, that doesn't quite make sense. That would make for, well, more like 9 cycles. And everyone knows the 7th cycle is the strongest one.
What cycles are you talking about?
The solstice cycles.
Do we even have a shot? Knowing what he's talking about.
Adendu does. Arcana Adendu's not perfect. Actually, yeah. Nature check Adendu. That's what we'll call this one.
Really?
Right. Well, Thorandil, there's some things I want to discuss with my associates about. Do you want a spare change of clothes? You seem like you're a little lacking.
Yes, that would. Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, okay. Just follow Grant. Grant, can you take Thranduil here to go get some extra sets of clothes in that locker that we have?
Hang on, I just need to gather up my notes here.
Sure, we will help him to get clothes from the locker.
Just literally use one of the interns' lockers.
Grant will. Oh, an actual locker. We're not locking him. Okay, cool. He'll help you gather all of your notes.
Hey, don't look at them. They're mine.
I'm sure. I mean, mad rabblings, anyways. Everybody here proficient in Arcana. Roll an Arcana check. See if you notice anything.
There it is. Jesus.
Yes. Nobody look at anything.
Hey, let me help you real quick. Just so the Lily robot scanner is just going over the notes real quick.
So, where is it? Did we write it down? We didn't write it down, did we, Bernie?
I'm not sure what you wrote down or not.
The things Lily would notice. All right, all three of you.
Oh yeah.
His ramblings and writings seem to be very, very high caliber magic, to the point where, at least for Tolsha, a lot of it is going over your head. But it seems to be researching where various different objects of origin of different places would stem from, like the original source of a powerful catalyst or stone, original source of essence of something. Like it's a very, very broad and very high level magic. Lily, most importantly, you notice that he has writings about theories on trying to find the essence of a star in the astral sea, as well as references towards elder forests of various worlds.
Quick question on that, Joey. The stuff you sent me before, is this stuff that Lily was already aware of that she needed, or is this like, oh, now that I know this exists, that's something I can...
You were aware that you may need a more powerful core to hold all of the magic inside of, and connectors to filter the magic inside of. You were positive you needed something more powerful, and you knew that you needed something of a higher caliber. You were just dreading having to go out into the world and find it, since you were so invested in what you were doing, that you kind of you cut a corner and used cheaper material for those two things.
Yeah, because she didn't want to get money from Tolsha to get the materials, because...
Oh, these aren't things money would solve the problem of. That's the issue of them. They're things you can't buy. You have to go and get them.
Well, yeah, okay.
You cannot buy these things. You have to go and get them. They are not known to anybody in the realms to be researched or gathered and sold.
Yeah, because the biggest thing was Lily probably wouldn't have cut the corners if she needed to.
All right, I'll throw out my entire idea for the story arc then. There you go. Congrats.
No, I'm sorry. No.
Jesus Christ, man, work with me here.
No, what I meant is that she didn't know where to get it, and now she has it. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Okay.
I'm sorry.
You keep shooting yourself in the foot, man.
I do.
Jesus.
I'm so sorry.
Just don't actually me anymore, please.
Okay. Well, actually, no. I'm sorry. That was a joke. That was a joke.
Yeah, I know.
Don't kill me.
There you go. Oh, I'm working on it now. It's on my to-do list.
Oh shit.
I mean, you built a nuclear reactor. You're gonna die at some point.
Hey. The body is resilient-ish.
All right. After helping you gather all of your things, Grant will usher you. Yes, we have a locker with clothing from one of our assistants. You look like it'll be loose on you, but it's better than your bathrobe.
Right. Thanks. I could just fabricate or something, but all right, I'll take what you have.
And while Thranduil's like off to get those clothes, Lily's gonna turn to everyone. So I may have messed up a little bit.
Define a little bit.
Well, so I was going over my notes and I thought that this certain material here, and she kind of pointed out on this huge mass of numbers, would, be sufficient for what I had planned. And it turned out it wasn't. And then I accidentally summoned an elf guy and almost blew up a city, maybe. Right. It's a little complicated. It would go over, might go over your head. It's um.
Aaron gives you the look.
Look, I didn't know where I could find the materials, or even they existed. So I had to make do with what I had, and that may have involved sort of. The colloquial term is cutting corners, even though I usually don't like to do that, but it's I had to, because things are expensive and hard to find or non-existent. Will you stop giving me the look like that?
No.
And I don't even know what that look is. Looks at a Dendu when she says that one.
So, Grant helps you get dressed in notably clothes that look simpler than anything you would have ever worn back in the day, Thorindil. However, remarkably soft, very comfortable as well.
Oh, it's quite good, actually. Right, what was it? Grant?
Grant Dorolo, yes.
Would you happen to have a bath there as well?
Yes, we, well, I have one in my personal quarters. I just have to do some cleaning and preparations, and I also need to work on the meltdown formula real quick, if you don't mind.
The meltdown formula, I could probably...
He goes over to a very large chalkboard and begins going over a series of very complicated mathematical formulas. You may roll an Arcana check if you would like.
All right.
Just gonna Goodwill Hunting this.
33. I have advantage from this.
Yeah. All right. So, huh. Fascinating. By the looks of it, whatever she is creating, and you have like a general gist that this looks like it needs to be a like some type of energy core, probably for high level spellcraft, 10th level, stuff like that. It looks like, by the looks of it, because the housing component for all of the energy could not house it, and everything is already set up in a perpetual motion, even though they turned it off, it is anticipated to not withstand the magic that is still filtering through it for about 6 months. You come up with that as Grant's kind of like still working through the formula manually.
Hang on. So you have about 6 months then.
Excuse me, sir, but this is incredibly complex formulations that we are figuring out.
Sure. You're trying to create a energy core,
Not
right?
trying.
Well, you need a better energy core, I suppose.
What? Yes. He continues writing.
You're not actually that far off.
Lily is a Mad
I think she
genius,
may-
after all.
Oh, well, I think she may have done somewhat of the same mistake that we did.
I assure you, nobody has ever worked on something like this before in their lives.
Right. Well, let's say that someone did. Quite a while ago.
You know what? My room is just around the corner over there. There's a drawn bathtub, and you can just use it while I work through the formula.
Young man, I am a wizarding apprentice to the great master Arendir Starweaver.
And I am the apprentice to Liliana Skyspeaker. Or Lily Skyspeaker.
Oh, is that the robot?
Alexa.
Warforged. Right. So who created her?
Herself.
She created herself.
Yes, subtracted her consciousness and placed it into that, utilizing a safety protocol in the rare occasion that she would die or perish.
So, okay, so she wasn't always a Warforged?
No,
then?
Dragonborn.
Ah, huh.
You can go take a bath. I'll finish the formulas
Tal'Dorei.
probably in an hour.
The one Dragonborn with tail or without tail? This is important.
I don't recall.
All right.
Sorry, I really need to focus. This is incredibly complex formulating.
Right. Well, let me just help. You see, you add this there, and then you compensate for the current.
Roll me a persuasion. Let's see if he'll actually listen to you or not.
Utilizing intelligence?
No. It's persuasion. Please, go take your bath. And he has loofahs and oils and soaps and it's amazing the type of bath over there. How long are you going to bathe for?
I'll probably go in there planning on making it like half an hour, but then falling asleep.
And drowning.
Yeah, not drowning, but
Wait, where's the other elf guy, Grant?
And
actually
another new
falling
character.
asleep. not meditating as an elf, just falling asleep.
Yeah. So after you're in the tub for about an hour, Grant walks towards all of you, and Lily, you can see that there's definitely some clear worry on his face.
Hey, Grant, are you okay? You look like you just spent the last 30 years doing something crazy.
He hands you over a small piece of paper, and it has just the ending formula at the bottom of it that calculates out meltdown in 6 months.
Oh, that's not good.
Well,
Well,
so, Thorndil,
what did he do?
he proof checked me, and in about 5 minutes came to the exact same calculation I did.
Oh, where is he now?
In my bath. I
Wasn't-
hope.
Wait, didn't I send you with him an hour ago? Did he go like, what, 20 minutes ago?
Full-blooded elves don't have actual concepts of time.
Going to check his room. This is a bad thing that has just been left alone.
So you go running over to Grant's room, slam the door open, where you see him just lying in the bathtub with like a nice little neck rest.
I check his pulse.
His
He's
skin
alive.
is even more wrinkly.
He's alive. Just sleeping.
Oh god, he looks like a raisin. Like an old raisin.
Grant will, I don't know how he figured out the phone. I mean, it took him 5 minutes, Lily. And he seemed to have some precursor knowledge about what we are working on here.
To be fair, he did claim he was from the Golden Age. And interesting.
Right.
That being said, this is worrying news, but and then Lily will show him the notes that she adjusted, because like I put it in the Discord, the Roll20 chat. Um, so if I noticed something amongst his notes there about a certain new casing for the core, and then she goes into the the hard attacks of this, that, and that. And if we can get those things, we can both stop the meltdown, and it'll work. It'll do it.
Well, that's good. Uh, that's good. Very well. Um, I suppose you all are going to handle him now. I'm going to try to readjust everything and put it back into functioning order so we can actually keep the meltdown not happening for 6 months.
Right.
So, what is this meltdown, Lily?
Oh, crap. Why did you have to leave me here to discuss that, Grant? Alright, so it was theoretically, just, it was all theoretical at the time. Um, should the casing not fully function and contain the magical energy, that it would be insufficient to contain it and maybe sort of bleed out into the nearby area, causing. Do you know that? Do you know that thing that happens sometimes when weird magic just sort of is there, and it may or may not affect the environment or things living in it.
You think of the entire Blight Shore?
The Blight Shore.
Right. Think of that, but not necrotic sometimes.
Are you telling me you built something that, if it fails, will cause a scar on the plane equal to a battle with the gods?
I mean, I don't want to. I wanted to say no. Um, it was all theoretical at the time, and I did put in as many safety measures as I could muster. But short answer, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So what are the items do you
Oh,
need?
well, I'm about to get myself prepped to go find these things so I don't, totally fuck up. But yeah, apparently I'm gonna need to find something like the essence. Let me double check the notes. Let's see, do. Uh, essence of a star, so that I can properly store the magic, as well as some roots of a tree from some sort of like pinnacle forest, like ancient magic tree stuff to just help with that magic flow.
Are
You
any of
know.
you proficient in nature?
Yes.
Roll a nature check.
Use such an advantage.
Please tell me this building is lined with a thick layer of lead.
And guidance.
Do you think I wouldn't do that?
Good, 27. Oh,
Why is it
D4?
not green?
30.
30. So,
Flash of Genius 35.
35. A pinnacle forest is... That is a forest that is the original first body of trees and forestation on any plane of existence. The very first one that would have been there. They're, as far as you know, non-existent anymore. Because wars and people destroying nature in order to build things. That's a hefty fucking ask.
Lily, you do know what you just said, right? Of a pinnacle forest?
I have a rough idea. Like,
A pinnacle forest is the very first body of trees and forestations on a plane of existence. The very first ones that would be there. And to my knowledge, that no longer exists on our plane. Just due to wars and people and expansion and fires and things happening.
oh, you mean like the calamity?
More that and just time as well. because forests burn down, people cut them down, they get raised in wars.
I mean, there's
You
a
have
lot
a
of.
you have a better chance of finding a Warforged Minotaur
Hey, hey, hey.
that you
Look,
didn't make.
look. I don't need to worry about minotaurs or making boyfriends anymore. There's no need to bother me about that.
Huh.
Supposedly,
Yeah.
she has a boyfriend now.
I'll believe it when I see it. Anyways,
There's a reason I'm not introducing you to. You're too hot. All right.
uh-huh. So, that would mean our best chance would be to find another plane that is somehow untouched by humankind, or where the original force hasn't been destroyed. Unless somehow we can find out that, oh hey, the first forest on Exandria hasn't been destroyed yet.
And I was just gonna ask a druid or something, or maybe pay a visit to that really big tree that's in the middle of. Shit, I'm trying to remember what this place is called.
The one in the middle of Zazit is,
No, not Zarzit. It's the
or
Fuck, what is
in
it?
The
the Kryn Dynasty,
Versglade, the Verdant Thicket,
The
Velvet.
Zorhas.
the Jorhas one.
Oh, the
Yeah,
one in
the-
the barbed field.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
The giant tree there.
That's not the first one. That was made during Calamity.
Or it survived Calamity, and it was the first one.
You're arguing with the archaeologist.
You're arguing with the
I'm sorry, that's
archaeologist.
just...
Fuck.
What are the odds Vasselheim has tree roots? They keep all first divine touched things like that.
I mean, we could try to ask them, but I'm pretty sure they hate me after I sent a strongly worded letter to them.
What did you do?
I wrote a strongly worded letter to them.
What did it say?
Had something to do with, you know, just poking at like the idea that they should probably do more in the world, and help out with the knowing mistress stuff, and also maybe stop being hypocrites sometimes. Yeah, they don't like me. They kind of sent a strongly worded letter back.
I have an idea.
Yes, it didn't do.
The Archdruid would know if there would be a first forest here.
Oh,
Yeah.
Keyleth.
Or
We-
that.
We aided them, they might be able to speak with the roots far better than any of us, maybe.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure if they would like about the reason we need it though. Mainly because now I'm a little slightly afraid that the Wisp Collector will go after me too.
They probably will, and we will allow them to. I mean, no, stop.
There's no one else in this room but us, right?
Grant,
there's-
the mage, the Thorndil, who's still sleeping in the tub.
I was gonna say Grant, Lily would have started having this conversation when Grant was away doing the calculations.
Well, you can ask him to leave.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
okay.
yeah, he left to go set up everything. Yeah, Grant's gone. You guys are just hanging out in his room.
Well, could ask Keyleth or that Silverin fellow, the one that apparently nature hates.
I'm pretty sure it's a love-hate relationship based off what I've noticed with him, but I think he hates everyone else.
I don't know. He
Yeah.
seemed pretty happy when I brought back his friends.
I mean, it's worth a shot then. God, are you gonna make me roleplay two characters?
No,
Yes.
he's an NPC now. He's mine.
Okay.
The only issue is I believe he is up near Iselcross somewhere.
I'm going to cast sending to Silverin because I met him.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, this is Tulsha from the time in Rexentrum. Where are you? We need to ask you a sensitive question.
Well, currently inside of a snowstorm in Uthadern. Feel free to come up here. The weather's great.
We're gonna show
is-
up. He's literally turned into a snowman, except the face.
He apparently is in Uthadern?
Oh, I know where that's at.
Can I, as a cartographer, do I know where Uthadern is, or can I pull out a map to find it?
You can absolutely pull out a map and find it. It's north of the Empire, inside of the Graying Wildlands. Yep, right up there.
It's-
Thank you.
All the way
Welcome.
up
And then
here.
do search the lands for Mithro, for Lilith.
For Lilith? Oh, that's a different one. Okay.
I don't suppose
That's Lily's
anyone.
unique thing.
I don't suppose anyone has something that was made in Uthadern.
Thorndale, at this point, you kind of wake up and you realize you're surrounded by all of them in the tub.
Hey, what's wrong with you? Demand some privacy here.
Shush. We're trying to have a serious conversation here, Mr. Old Guy.
Do I have to banish you, Warforged thing?
It wouldn't be the first time I've been banished.
It doesn't work, trust me.
Well, have you tried the plane of rust?
There's a plane of rust.
There's a plane of what?
Of course there is. There's the plane for everything.
Is there a plane of minotaurs?
Not so much a plane
Yes,
as you
with a
would know,
labyrinth.
but like another kind of existence. Well, I suppose fine, I'll get up. Oh.
Infinite
Old
away.
man
Just
dangle
gonna
it.
prestidigitation and drive.
Hey, you don't
Like an airhead.
you don't prestidigitate someone without their utter consent.
No, but you can create destroy water on them when they're being stupid.
Who's being stupid?
I look and point at Lily.
Lily doesn't see it because she's got her eyes shut down from the old man standing up
It's
naked.
like the little visors. You just think and it closes the blinds.
Right.
Hang on, let me just.
To fill you...
I'll cast fabricate to just change my clothes to something that looks a bit more like what I'm used to.
Very well. Now he looks like an elf.
Wait,
You
since it's
wouldn't happen
fabricate,
to have any forbidden knowledge of where a pinnacle forest would be, would you?
Pinnacle Forest. And forbidden knowledge, well, there's no such thing as forbidden knowledge.
Oh, there is in this day and age.
Oh, that's
yeah, I would,
stupid.
I know, right? I even sent them a letter about it,
Who?
and they got mad. Oh, just this religious city, and they mentioned something about a crusade if I don't stop.
There's still those guys who like pray to the gods and all that kind of thing.
I mean,
Yes.
I worship the goddess of knowledge.
Lily, we talked about this. Stop just telling people that. You're going to be assassinated.
I was already going to be assassinated, probably. It's a matter of who at this point.
Right. Well, Pinnacle Forest. You mean the first forest?
Yes, our current plan of action is to go to Uthadern and ask an archdruid we know.
Yeah.
But what do you need this for?
To make sure Lily's invention doesn't turn into a bomb that causes wild magic in the area.
Right. So
Right. Yes, that's probably a wise decision. You see, I have. If we were to find some lifeblood of a pinnacle forest, or well, living forest, that'd be good. I'd be happy to come with you if I can help a little bit.
Lily, you were trying to say something?
Sorry.
I forgot what I was gonna say, but it was not as interesting as what Thranduil was saying.
Okay.
Well, also you mentioned this calamity thing earlier. What specifically did you refer to then?
Right. Give me Miriam, do you still have that library of books like on your person at all times?
What?
Never mind. Anyways, yeah, we'll get. I'll help catch you up to date, Thranduil, but yeah, I think probably I'm gonna need a day to get prepped. I guess now. Well,
You all would remember that Adendu did spend the better part of this year just researching modern history.
man, I wish we had a historian here, but like not an archaeologist, because that's old history, but like someone who knew everything about modern day history.
I know
Wouldn't be me.
quite.
You're really quiet, Adendu. What'd you say?
Sorry, I was just saying it wouldn't be me. No, no, sorry.
Yeah. Well, we know that because you're also from an old age of stuff. You're so old, you're a skeleton now.
I've always been a skeleton.
Well,
Well, you were born.
we're all skeletons inside.
He
Most of us.
understands. He understands.
Well, technically, we're cerebral brains piloting skeletons with an armor of flesh.
Right. Well, I have an idea then. Adendu, Tulsha, why don't you stay and catch up with Thranduil with up-to-date history stuff? Miriam, would you accompany me on getting my preparations in order?
You mean making sure that you don't blow up this part of the coast? Yes.
No, I mean literally like packing my stuff so I can go and try to fix this shit. But yeah, sort of.
I've kept all of my adventuring gear with me at all times because I was expecting you to blow something up, Lily.
Hey, I've never blown anything up unintentionally yet recently in the last year.
That is a lie. This just almost happened.
Until recently.
Hey, do you have some food here that's different?
Yeah, let's here. And Lily would go to the pantry. Like it's basically is like an office space sort of area laboratory she has, and so there's like a whole little like the employee break room with it like I don't know if she'd have a fridge per se, but like icebox thing, like cabinets with food, and a lot of it is from anti-fire.
I'll go in there and start munching down all sorts of things. Just, I can taste things. Oh.
Hey, Joey, what are the odds that it's the super spicy food?
Very high, given it's Lily and it's anti-fire. So D100.
I imagine there's like for the cabinets, there's one half that's all Lily food, which is stuff she doesn't always eat, and then the other half is all Grant stuff that he picked out.
88. Yeah, you get to the Lily half where you go, spicy peanut butter, and just take a spoonful of it, and holy shit, is that? Wow, that is hot.
Oh. Fuck it. I'll suffer suffer a little bit. It's just I've been eating the same food for approximately 843 years. I think it should be.
Don't worry, the pain and pleasure from it is going in and going out.
Right.
The nose fucking sweat and the crying and the beet red face.
Is this how a sun elf is made?
Alright, so as you guys are figuring out exactly what it is you're going to be doing, I think this is a good place for us to go on break. Be right back.
Jesus.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Alrighty. Where last we left off, everybody, the party had come to the general consensus that they need to go to Uthadern in order to talk to Silverin in the hopes of finding out more about these pinnacle trees, or roots that they have specifically. So, as you all were arguing, yeah, but it's going to be chaotic where we end up. We might be there, we might go someplace else. Dendu, you just remembered that, oh yeah, the mithril of Tolsha's full plate armor that came from Uthadern.
Once again, saving your party.
Damn. You right.
So it's your party too.
Well, that works
I'll
out
do
well.
the honors.
So, what?
Okay, so what you want to go like right this instant, right now, when we have not packed any of, well, I haven't packed any of my shit yet, and this guy literally has nothing to pack just yet.
Well, I'm afraid I left most of my stuff in that room
I mean,
8 centuries ago.
well, on the bright side, I do have this emergency go bag here, and Lily pulls out, like, you know, when you have to do criminal escape stuff, they have the duffel bag full
The
of money
burglar
and
pack.
whatever. Yeah, Lily pulls out one of those from a nearby like cupboard, and hands it to him, essentially.
Oh, thanks. So what's this Uthadern place? How do you? What sort of place is it? You meant
It's at the Well
something about a
City.
snowstorm?
Yeah. Hey, Dendu, you've been there before, right? I heard it's cold climate up there.
Very. If those who aren't very good with the cold wear something, that includes you, Miriam. I know you have nice fur and all, but that's a bitter cold.
Let me grab the winter coat from my pack.
I have my robes and fur.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
I once had a
It's-
very nice fur coat that was. I would have been nice to have right now. I don't have any cold weather clothing.
Look in the backpack.
Right, thanks. Oh, right, you don't have. You see, I've been stuck in this magnificent mansion for, well, I'm so used to having these unseen servants just doing everything for me. It's actually a bit refreshing to have to do things yourself.
Is that who you're always talking to or trying to?
No. Maybe I'm just talking to you guys.
I think
Sure.
what she's asking is, do you have a voice in your head that you talk to?
Well, you don't?
See, that answers a lot of questions.
Well, you're supposed to have that. I mean, who else would I've talked to the last 840 years?
She was locked in your room.
Not in my room, our mansion. It was an experiment. It didn't go quite as planned.
Once this is all over, I'll introduce you to the Alabaster Lyceum. They have a very extensive library.
Huh. Right. Sure. I mean, I kind of had enough of libraries for a while, actually.
Battle Mage.
Well, everyone ready to go to a cold place?
I have my warm clothes on.
Got your
'Cause-
mittens?
I suppose,
Yes.
What sort of challenges should we expect up there, aside from the cold?
I don't know. We should
Um,
be arriving in Uthadern, which is a elven and dwarvish city.
And dwarvish, you say?
Yes, from what I've heard.
Right. Well, it would be nice to meet some of my kin.
Oh man, we're bringing a guy from fucking the past to see hybrid races.
Quick question. Do you have any specific views on elves and dwarves that we should maybe, know about before we head into the city populated by them?
Wow.
Well, now that you mention it,
Oh no.
Do you know what half elves are?
Half what?
we try not to mention that.
Oh no.
Oh no. Every character's race is still one race.
What? No, they're not.
But if I had a nickel for every time Bernie's characters were accidentally sometimes raised.
I just like to make politically incorrect.
What's your opinion on Yuan Ti?
I thought they were mostly dead.
After
No,
the Great Extermination.
we are very much alive.
Well, yes, I can see that.
Not for long.
I must say you're actually the first one I've met myself face to face. I don't really have an opinion of them that much.
Alright, well,
As long as you're not like in league with that. What's the name of that? They used to have this god back in the day. What was the name?
just a liar and a real son of a
Zephyr?
bitch.
No, that's Tahir. No, something like that.
I'm not in league with them. I follow Mama Vusi.
Okay, well that sounds like another, like a fae or something.
Sibling gods.
Not glad. I would have laughed if then Thorndale was like, "Wait, she's still around? Oh my god, we used to date," or some shit like that.
But no, I don't have any like. Well, dwarves are sometimes stubborn and difficult to deal with, but they can be very steadfast and loyal friends.
Okay, that's good. I was worried over nothing then. All right, everyone. If you're all set, let's head to
Now-
Uthadern.
Now, wood elves, on the other hand,
Oh no.
Bunch of hippies.
Have fun hanging out with
What are your
Grandpa,
thoughts on
everybody.
interspecies marriage?
Yeah, and yeah, I guess once everyone's ready, Lily will use Tolsha's armor as the sort of teleport catalyst for it
Yep.
to help us get to Uthadern safely. After she gives, the proper stuff to Grant, and
Yep. You hand over everything to Grant. Is this the right one?
is what the right.
I hear
The music.
TV static,
no, there's wind.
which is also
and-
called snow.
wind and harp music.
I don't hear any music. Okay.
It's just quiet.
Yeah, I hear it.
Hey,
Wait, maybe I need to turn up the volume.
It's kind of quiet, but that could be on my end.
All right, I'll turn it up. There we go.
I'll have you know, I'm no war mage. In case we run into a dragon or something, I can help, but I mostly have like
What is your school of choice?
school. Well, I don't really specialize in any particular. I try to specialize in all of them.
You need to type to write things down like a scribe.
Well, it seems a bit metagaming, but yes.
Even the crows are laughing.
So,
Oh, Jesus.
as you all teleport, you arrive standing on top of this frozen plain out inside of the graying wildlands. You look around and you can see the massive stone-laid bridge off in the distance that brings you directly into the city of Uthodurn. Adendu, you're the only person who's ever been all the way up here, so you're the only person who knows what that is. To everybody else, you are just high up inside of some mountains, and it is frigidly cold. Despite the outfits many of you donned in order to be more acclimated to this environment, it still cuts and pierces through you with a sharpness that seems unfair, just as a general instinct.
I miss being resistant to this.
Oh, yes.
I haven't remembered what feeling cold is like from where we were.
And you also just took a bath.
It wasn't a cold bath. I
Do
heated
you
it.
guys want to hear a pun?
Oh no.
Sure.
Because right now I'm chilled to the bone.
That's a good one.
Ooh.
Da-na-na-na-na.
I already missed Bernie.
Where's Uthodurn at Endu?
But
Well,
by
just follow me.
Right.
as we're following, by the way, that Dendu, I probably should have asked before. When you went to Uthodurn last time, did you happen to be disguised, or did you just go au natural? Gesturing
how
to
I
like
am.
the long face.
But I do show my badge and authorization to show that I am Silla's spies, as they might say.
So, you all begin walking, crunching your feet against the hefty snow, and as you are moving out towards the open environment, you do see there appears to be a tremendous, absolutely tremendous amount of clouds high up in the sky. You see snow is falling down from them at an angle directly over that city, and it seems absurdly aggressive in its descent onto the ground.
I'm gonna stop for a moment and like take in the view. Despite the cold, I'm just. This is quite something, isn't it? You know, most people don't really appreciate that the world, well, the world I come from, our world is actually quite beautiful. It's something you appreciate a bit more once you've only been staring at bookcases for a while.
I have to agree, although mine's more about appreciating life more, especially after you suddenly get killed by something that was out of your or anybody's control.
Is that what happened to you?
Yeah, there was, yeah. It was just an unfortunate event, and I was angry for a time, but I've grown out of it, too, mostly.
Right, because that Grant fellow told me you had transferred your consciousness into this automaton?
Yeah, it was a whole theory that, and stuff that I had, and, well, the theory worked, and I wouldn't be here if it weren't for my family.
But this body, then, did you find it somewhere, or have you restored it from? Yes.
Well, this used to be my, I need to remember what she called Misty now. Um, this used to be my, did I write it down in her notes?
You just said Misty.
No, it was Misty, but it was an actual acronym for something that I'm trying to remember. Anyways, it's...
Dude, no way in hell if you didn't write it down.
I did write it down, I just don't remember where I wrote it down at now.
Mechanical infiltration and security device.
I think it was something like that. Not in infiltration, but yeah, a security device, I think, was one of the big ones.
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
Yep, and then that was the original design, and then it turned into Lily's interchangeable light independent xenomorphic armor.
Huh.
Or
Interesting.
Lilixa for short.
So you made it yourself then?
Yes.
Huh. Well, I'm glad to see that the tradition of acronyms is still alive and well.
Oh, I love acronyms.
Right.
Especially if you can make them fun.
Well, there's, yes, fun, but they're supposed to be descriptive first and foremost, you know? Yeah, take this, for example, and he pulls out the green orb. This is sphere. Do you want to guess what the acronym stands for?
No, I'm a little distracted by the cold.
So you do get cold, okay. Right, yeah, it is rather cold. Well, I call it the, well, my master called it the spatial prism for harmonizing ethereal realities and existences. Sphere.
That's pretty neat.
It is. You know, if you have insight with crafting stuff, maybe we could help each other out a bit. It's not fully functional. Well, it's mostly functional, but not quite the way it's supposed to be. But anyway, yes, it's cold. Let's go.
So, you all head over. I need you to give me a survival check. Whoever is going to be leading the expedition into this magnificent storm out here.
I can lead it.
Well, then there we go.
Yeah, or I can. Doesn't bother me.
You're very quiet, sir.
Oh, sorry. Hello.
Oh.
Is this better?
Yes.
It is.
There you go. Thank you. Sorry. I don't know why my controls are being weird today.
All good.
Yeah. Tosha, do you want to lead? I can assist.
Sure. Thank you, Ivan Duch.
So, as you all are cutting into the storm, you watch as Tosha begins guiding you along closer to larger mounds of this snow-covered mountaintop area. As you are traversing around that, you also take note that the storm seems to be focusing on this ledge outside of Uthodurn itself, not really in the city. And Adendu, when you last were up here, you remember that that's where that druid was, on the ledge outside of the city.
Just imagining those half and half. Half side is all sunny and sunshine and nice snow. The other side, blizzard. Just can't.
So, you all track over the bridge, trying your best to dig your feet in, and I need con saves from everybody as you are traveling. It's going to take you less than an hour to get there, but you are doing it in a snowstorm on top of a mountain.
Ooh. Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Thorndil, Tolsha, and
Oh,
Dendu,
Jesus.
all three of you are going to be suffering 16 points of cold damage, and you have disadvantage on all ability checks until you take a short rest by a warm hearth or large bonfire.
Just ability checks, right?
Yes. So, you guys get over to the other side where you see there's these very large trees set up in a circle around this small campsite. And Silverin is sitting there screaming something none of you can hear up at the sky as you kind of see like a face in the sky.
You know, I don't know if I want to know what that's about, but we have to go talk to that
He
guy.
turns to
anyways.
notice all of you when you start speaking.
Silverin! Is there somewhere inside we could go? It's freezing out here.
I
Thought he was kidding when he said nature hated him.
You see he is actively... Can any of you read lips?
I feel like
Anyone have
Lily would have.
observant?
I was gonna say I don't. I think she definitely understood "shut the fuck up" when when Tosha started speaking, but otherwise no.
Okay. He seems to be screaming at that thing in the sky for some reason. However, as that is happening, eventually you see that face in the sky begin moving away, and the storm moves with it, and he just slowly walks over towards all of you. All
Is that
right.
the wild mother?
No, it isn't. It's a wild pain in my ass.
It looks like it.
So, you said you had something important. Let me stop everything I'm doing and working on. What is it?
We're looking to find a pinnacle forest.
Uh-huh.
Because this one fucked up. Looking at
Wow,
Lily.
just throwing me under the wagon there.
God damn it, what did you do?
So I could give the long explanation for it.
You know, you can just give me the one right
He
now.
built a bomb, effectively.
What? It's not a bomb.
It's going to act like one.
If nothing's done about it, which I'm working on with you all.
You realize if you actually build like a very powerful source that's gonna destroy everything, I'm gonna have to come kill you. Do you know how
I'm aware.
tiresome that is?
Who is this guy?
I'm Silverin.
Okay.
Right.
What?
Well,
Go on, Lily.
right. Well, look, I took as many safety measures, except for one, that I could think of, and it would have turned out just fine, except for, you know, this one thing.
Everything?
No, just one thing,
Uh-huh.
and then everything would have gone right.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying. Look, I know I fucked up, and I'm trying to fix it.
Mm.
I don't want anyone to get hurt because I fucked up, except myself if I fuck up, because you know, take responsibility for your own stuff. Don't put that on other people.
Oh, that's nice of you. Yeah. Why exactly do you need a pinnacle anyways?
Well, once again I could give the long answer, but the short answer is I need the roots there to help with the magical flow of energy.
The roots One of the first trees on a plane of existence. Really?
Yes.
I mean, like, that's a lot.
Well, you don't need a full root. Just a piece of it.
What?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you don't need the whole thing. Just a piece of it. Enough that you can use it as a reference for harmonizing the energies.
Who the hell's this guy?
He's an old guy we recently found from before the Age of Arcana or something like that. He's real old.
Apparently, he is the apprentice of one of the mages that effectively created the planar transportation magic.
Well, he didn't. Well, yes, he did. Yes, he did. Well, at least some of them.
Yes, we keep finding very horrible things that could end the world. We're aware of that.
Yeah, you guys do a lot of...
Who are you calling a horrible thing, you bugbear?
Oh, great. He's racist, too?
Hey, he's from a different time.
Literally.
So was my grandpa. You don't hear me defending them.
Was that your grandpa you were talking to up there?
No, that's one of the kings of the sky. It's a whole thing.
I didn't know the sky had kings.
It's a whole thing.
Wonder if that's why our last name is Sky Speaker.
Your last name is Sky Speaker?
Silren would have heard that before, right?
No, nobody ever refers to you by your last name.
Okay.
Except your mom when she's mad at you.
I was
Miriam
originally a
Skyspeaker.
Goliath before I died and was reincarnated.
Huh. That's, yeah, that's interesting. Alright. Well, if you're looking for a pinnacle, there's only a handful of places in our entire universe that has their pinnacle tree still. One is the Feywilds. I don't recommend you go digging up their trees, though. Hopefully I don't have to explain why.
No, you don't.
Right. There's... I think... Lalakuza still has its pinnacle as well. But they have this, like, cannibal problem. It's really bad. People that actively eat to gain more power, other people. Not the best,
Does it
you know?
work? Does it work?
He just stares at you when you ask that.
Hey, I can't eat anything. I'm just curious.
This is how the situation started in the first place.
And outside of that, I think you also have Chondrix. It may still have its. And Volition probably has its as well. But all the other worlds, most of those have been gutted, you know?
So, other than the Feywild, I don't think I've ever heard of any of these other places. Hey, Thorandil, have you heard of any of these places?
Or Dendu.
Or
Can I
did you?
roll a check for it?
You can certainly roll.
Well, I asked Thorandil first because you said he was from, like, spatial magic stuff.
Would that be Arcana? then?
History!
History, okay.
Yes.
Oh, and I have disadvantage, so.
11!
Lesser
Disadvantage on history?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I
the
failed
snow.
Con save.
Yeah.
Oh.
Same with
I
our
really
deadly.
can't remember anything but being cold right now.
It sounds to me like you have a bit of brain freeze.
Aw.
27.
27. Adendu. Volition is a far-off realm from this one. It's its own material plane as well. Very dangerous location. Supposedly they have these multiple layers inside of it where when you go there, there's no easy way out, even with spells like plane shift and such. You actually need to walk through the plane of volition to exit it. So that one might be a little difficult to get to. Not to mention, if it has that many planes, it's probably going to be exhausting to try to cut through anyways. In addition to that, you think Condrix might be one of the mother realms, which is a location where more powerful individuals originally came from. Namely, when this world was beginning to become settled, individuals came from the outer realms and different locations. This would have been one of those locations, Condrix. Aside from that, you know nothing about it. And that third one, yeah, you've never heard of that one.
So our realistically the only option is to go to the Feywild because that's the only one we can even get to.
No, Contracts is achievable. You can take any of these. All of these are options. It's just,
We don't have tuning forks to those planes of existence.
Yeah, and you guys don't have tuning forks to any of these places.
So,
Yeah.
Mr. Silren, fellow, guy,
Yeah.
buddy, pal.
Yeah.
Theoretically, if we had no way to get there with tuning forks or anything, and also have never heard of most of these places, how might someone go there?
Well, if it was me, I would go out and try to purchase a tuning orb. You guys realize we live in, very large societies of planar travelers that do a lot of things, right? We have the technology to trade with other realms. There's a place in Feolin.
The postal something service,
Something.
the trading place.
Something.
I forgot about that place.
I think I remember seeing just randomly checking that one day and seeing a post for a property on sale.
We should. Yeah. We
Own a
should check
house
that.
there?
Yes, and it's still upkeep, and she's buying stuff still.
That's right. Oh yeah, that's right. I was gonna tell you about it, Miriam, and I forgot. It was some sort of wizard tower for sale.
Silverin, if it was you having to travel to one of these realms, which one would you choose?
I don't like Fae.
I can understand that.
Or more appropriately, they don't like me, but I don't like them.
It's because you're no fun.
Lily?
He just stares at you when you say that. Unmoved, just staring.
He's staring because it's true.
And I would say Volition is probably pretty difficult to get all the way through. I mean, you have to go out of your way to get all the way through it, you know?
So that would mean Kondrax or Lalakusa.
Yeah.
If we're going to go to Kondrax, there's, by the sounds of it, there's just more powerful people in general. While Lalakusa might have fewer, but they might be magnitude stronger if they gain power from eating people.
Who knows? Go ahead.
Lollapalooza, that's the cannibal place?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Alright.
Sounds to me like we're going to look for contracts then.
Well, I mean, no one would miss cannibals, right?
He has a point.
I mean, I think that's a whole cultural debate that I'm not really wanting to have, but I mean,
Cannibalism leads to all sorts of diseases that will kill you before you're 40. That's documented.
I mean, so theoretically, we're gonna be fighting a bunch of young people that don't know any better.
Oh, would you look at that? Someone who doesn't know any better.
Oh no, they've got Mr. Popo. Well, I guess probably a big question is, what's the time difference per se?
How the hell am I supposed to know? I'm not some planeswalker.
Do you know someone who is that we could ask?
Not really, no. I
Insult
mean,
check.
Don't you?
there is someone, but he's kind of a dick. Like, a lot of a dick.
Who's that?
He belongs to the same organization as a mutual companion of some of ours.
It's that wisp thing, isn't it?
Hey. Don't speak about that. He just looks over at Thorndale.
I've never said anything about this wisp thing.
Why couldn't one of the strays you pick up be stupid?
I mean, we had one person before, and they could turn into a bear, and they were fun to have.
Alright.
Could you just create some kind of planar spectrometer?
What?
Is that a concept?
What?
It's a device that Lily would explain what that is, which I assume is like some sort of planar measuring device sort of thing, or like finds where the veil's thinnest for us to travel through planes. I assume that's what it is, right?
I don't know.
Do you want me
Yeah,
Lily
you
takes the
say.
bet.
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
Lily takes the guess. Something like that? Is that what you're referring to?
Well, sort of, you can use it to... Well, I don't know exactly how it's crafted. I just know it's possible. You use it to observe the... the vibrations, the frequency of the plane that you're trying to get to, and then you overlay it with the one you're on. You measure the difference, and using a few calculations, I'm sure I can find them somewhere in the library.
Do I need to tell you guys that I don't know what he's talking about?
No, we don't know what he's talking about either.
Miriam, you're somewhat keeping up, obviously. And Lily.
I might know Arcana, but that is advanced Arcana.
Well, you just need to know the difference in vibrations, and then you know the difference in time dilations.
Yeah, you
More
need
or
to
less.
find the good vibrations. Yeah.
The good vibes.
Joey, would the Lyceum have like one of those things to teach students once they get to that level about this stuff?
You could always talk to the transmutation specialist to see if they know.
Joey, follow-up question on similarly. Does Lily... I don't think Lily's visited it before, but would that something she might heard of the
Or
library...
sorry, conjuration. But yeah, keep going.
The library in Czars of the Kittrell? Or near Czars of the Kittrell, the Draconian one.
You mean the one that Persa owns?
Yes.
Oh, you've never heard or know anything about that? It's not really advertised? Your character has done specific researches. So, yeah, that's not really something advertised.
Alright. This planar spectrometer, on a scale from maybe 1 to 5, Thorandil, how difficult would you say it's probably is to make?
I only know the theory craft behind it. But I mean, if you created this body, then I suppose you might be capable of building that as well.
That's the thought. I don't want to time crunch it a bit, so I don't want to spend. That's the reason I'm asking about the time difference, because I don't want to spend a day in some other plane and then come back and literally like a year has passed.
Right. Well, that's why it's better to create the spectrometer beforehand and then look at the time that would pass if you were to go there.
You can attempt to talk to the Archmage of Conjuration. They might know what this is, or even have it.
I'd say let's do that.
Let's hope so.
That is gonna have to be something we do tomorrow because, well,
I can
go.
circle us there.
Well, if you're gonna circle us there, can we do it in the city of Utherdun where it's warmer? I assume.
Your robes. Mirian, remember your robes?
What about my robes?
You have professor's robes. Once
Yeah.
per day, you can cast a teleport spell to get back specifically to the Lyceum.
Okay, I do not remember ever getting told that.
I may have forgotten to tell you that, because I gave it to you like very quickly in the moment of everything.
Wait,
So
Marion, what's this tag that you forgot to rip off these robes?
it's
Okay.
the manual. Oh.
Oh, hey, look at that! Have you been wearing those this entire time and not read that?
Listen, I've been very busy with my own research. All right. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna... No, I'll just ask someone when we get there. Thank you, Silren. Enjoy screaming at the sky.
Yes, thank you, Soren. And just before we teleport, I want to, because you took time out of the day, and because you're druid, I think this would be appropriate payment. As just as we're about to teleport, I hand him a life boon leaf, so he can't say no.
Wait, what
Also-
the fuck is?
Well, also hand him some jam from Anti-Fire because, you know, nice spicy food in a cold place. Appropriate payment paid.
This is when he casts setting on us. Like, what the fuck did you give me?
He's gonna
Get this.
or he's specifically gonna kill
Who's your
me.
supplier?
So, you all appear inside of the Lyceum. In a swirl of magic that engrosses all of you, there's this dazzling, sparkling light that just lays against all of your skins as you see the Grand Hall reformed inside of the Lyceum. I don't recall, have any of you, outside of the two that attended the Lyceum, ever seen the school outside of wartime?
No.
The grand teleportation tower that you all arrive in, adorned with runic markings of all manners of protections, can be seen about. You see depictions on the walls of historical mages, ages past, that have come through and graduated from the prestigious Lyceum College itself. As you appear for the first time, there is nobody stopping you immediately. There are no eldritch knights keeping you at bay. You know, the two of you that attend here, they're outside the door, but you're in peaceful times. Security is more relaxed. As you open up the front two doors, whereas before it was a landscape of emptiness that you saw leading up to the school, you see this incredible courtyard. Various different pavilions, just barely tall enough grasses for people to sit in and relax, and all manners of different targets and locations that the more practical mages get to study and research with. You also now take in and see how many students they actually have here, now that they're not locked up inside of their wings, in case anything happened. And, well, one fireball can kill, on average, 80 wizards that are 3rd level or lower. So,
Oh, hey, Mir.
you see maybe 200-300 students just in the open courtyard studying. Some of their professors are walking about with them, showing them where they need to go and going over practical applications as well. As you are taking in all of this, you also see the numerous different school wings that are no longer inside of the centralized tower, but are on the outskirts of it. Each of them with their adorned symbol of magic on the outside. You see overhead, conjured beings are flying about freely. You see this dazzling night sky above everybody's head in one half, and then on the other half, a bright morning that seems to be there. No students have to work overnights at the academy. It will be daylight if you need it to be, and it'll be night if it needs to be. As you take in all of this, you also notice that Mirian's robes have changed significantly since he is now here. He has the proper trimmings of each of the professors adorned onto his, but the tail flap of the robe that he has leaning off the back has the symbol of necromancy on it. As you all step out and begin walking, one of the students pass by and looks at you, Mirian. Hi, Professor! And just keeps walking.
Oh.
Oh, Professor Skyspeaker, look, the transmutation students have the hammocks out again. It's like hammocks out in the middle. Like you said, it's an open space, right?
Oh, yeah, it's a huge
Yeah,
courtyard.
and it's like a college, so I assume like some students might have like hammocks set up somewhere in the open areas to like
Yeah,
either
sure.
nap or study.
Yeah.
Are they reading or sleeping?
Yes.
Some have been put to sleep by reading.
Or some of them put to sleep by the enchantment students.
I'm gonna cast dancing lights and just throw all the orbs into the faces of the ones napping.
They start freaking out, waking up, and one of the Eldritch Knights looks over at you. That is a very unbecoming way to act as a professor.
Yes, well, I'm not actually teaching anything, am I? Do you happen to...
Oh man, Miriam's that teacher.
Dude, I have not
fuck
been...
you. Go ahead.
Dude, I am the low... I have like, what? Our necromancy school has like, what? 5 students total?
3 now.
Yeah, it's like, what do I care what the transmutation kids think? I was gonna ask, do you know if... Actually, do I know the names of the archmages?
No, you deliberately missed out on the faculty meeting because you were doing other things.
Gotcha. Do you know if the Archmage of Conjuration is available and where they are?
You are looking for the professor or the archmage?
Unfortunately, I believe I need the Archmage.
Hey Fred, how's the family?
Sorry, I'm going through all my files. You guys are zipping around the world.
Yeah. Sorry.
Professor Vorin Thorn.
Orin what?
Thorn.
Thorn.
This sort of reminds me of home. Well, a little bit.
And may I ask which academia you studied at, sir?
Oh, I graduated from the Grand Order of Scribes in Avalier.
Excuse me.
Yes, I'm going to need an escort to watch him while we go visit. He is a pre-Arcanian citizen that was trapped in another plane.
Magical shackles, understood.
No. No need for that.
He's mostly harmless.
He is an unknown place. We are in the School of Magic. He's under supervision by an arcane knight at the least.
Oh yeah,
They
no, for
will
sure.
bring out an Eldritch Knight just to stand next to you the entire time.
I'm not even a war mage.
The Order of the Scribe has not existed for over 600 years.
But how can that be?
Considering I don't know what continent Avalier even was on, that's probably why.
What do you mean? Avalier is... You don't know of Avalier?
Can you give a geographical location while we're waiting for him to figure out where the other professor is?
Yeah, he walks off, but a different Eldritch Knight is just standing, like, you can feel the breath on the back of your head.
Jesus. That's a
For
little
mage
close.
killers, man, for a reason.
Yeah. Listen, after what just happened in this world,
Hey,
yeah.
You just need to be within 5 feet. You don't need to be like right there.
No, he's
As
there.
as an archaeologist, would I have heard of Avalier before?
You may have. Roll a history check. Adendu also, since you did all of your research on modern history.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's still disadvantage for some people, right? Because
Yeah, you
not
guys
no
haven't
short
taken
rest.
your rest at a hearth or bonfire yet.
Roll again, Tulsha.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
11 and 11. You know, you guys will fucking know.
Too cold for this, still.
Forgive the precautions, Thirdrill. We recently just unseated a lich that had supposed itself in a seat of power. We are all kind of on edge on mages.
Huh. There are some of those still, then.
Yeah, people find ways. Oh, one oh shit, that one Eldritch Knight already walked away, didn't he?
Yeah, the first one. There's a different one just standing behind him.
Was just sorry to interrupt you, but was that by chance that Vecna fellow you mentioned? Because he was apparently trying to become a lich, from what I remember.
We have not mentioned Vecna.
Well, you guys
no,
said
it-
post Vecna when you were discussing timelines, and then
Yeah.
Lily kept going on. And
Uh,
Vecna
no,
is a
it-
historically known name from way before.
Yeah, no, this was someone named Trent.
And do not say that person's name.
What? Trent or Vecna's?
Good question.
So,
Yes.
One with the V.
the V, the flying V.
I'll explain later.
Oh, okay.
Lily will turn to the Eldritch Knight that's now here and probably also breathing over Thorandil. I think we haven't talked much. I think your name was Gary.
I am
Do
working.
you know where we might also find the Archmage of Abjuration?
Yes, I do. We can send word to Azura as soon as we are done here.
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course. Now, a student comes wandering over towards you, Mirian. A younger woman, maybe 22 years of age. Half elf as well, so this will be fun. As she gets over to you, she has a very high-strung ponytail, and she smiles very wide and goes, "Hello, Professor." And you see on the front of her robes there is the symbol of necromancy. Hi!
Have I met this student yet?
You haven't met any of your students yet.
Technically, there is another professor of necromancy. There's two now, technically.
Yeah, well, one's teaching, one's doing
You're the
projects.
archmage. There's a difference. You're the
I
head
haven't
of the
passed
department.
that test yet. You haven't told me I passed that
Oh,
test.
that is correct. Yeah, you're just recognized as a professor now. You are
They
the
didn't tell you.
foremost authority, but yeah.
They didn't tell you passed the test yet either.
Cosette. My name's Cosette. Pleasure to meet you, Professor.
A pleasure as well, Cosette.
Hi. So I was really interested in seeing if you have any modern theories, particularly surrounding your use of rites and giving them their own form of consciousness and understanding and comprehension.
I do. Unfortunately, that is being put into my thesis for my attempt at archmagedom, so I'm afraid I cannot discuss them openly with students.
Well, if you're interested in taking on a student advisor, in order to assist you with any of your day-to-days, I've been looking at getting into the field recently. I've done all of my graduate studies all the way up to the 5th year. And she'll hand you over, like, proper documentation for her grades in every class that she has. Her practical magic scores are top-notch. Her applicable magic scores are top-notch. Her physical education is middle of the road. This is the only mage college that demands you have to take a phys ed of some variety. She seems to have more of a concentration in general athletics and survivability with hers. Her application of necromantic energies and course seems middle of the road at best. But she has really good marks on everything else.
Can I insight? Is this like just kind of like I want my name on a paper kind of student?
Give me an insight.
Ooh.
19.
Around the 3rd year is when a student is supposed to gather up their things and head out into the real world to learn something. You can only learn so much from a book, and you need to spend a mandatory of 1 year studying abroad, which is literally going outside into the world and studying. She held off for 2 years, and you think there's probably a reason behind that, because she's a 5th year and she hasn't done it yet, but she's doing it under the guise of trying to assist you, but it seems like she's incredibly bubbly, but she's also insecure about her magecraft.
Can you spell her name for me, just so I know how to pronounce it?
Cosette.
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 No, Miss Cosette.
Yes.
If I do choose you to assist me, I'm going to need you to be honest with me. Why is it that you've held off your abroad till now?
Well, there wasn't really a good time to do it. Necromancy isn't really something that gets us a lot of leeway when it comes to working on other group projects with other individuals. And I've also... Okay, I haven't actually examined a cadaver yet.
Ah.
Oh no.
Blood is... I prefer skeletons over anything else, if I can help it.
I double check her notes. How'd she do on
Anatomy.
I guess health would cover biology?
Yeah. So her markings for the written portion, top notch. Like, she is really good. She's a accomplished wizard. But for her practical test, it's the only thing she hasn't taken. And I know I have to find a way to work through that, and the other professor denied my request because he believes that first I have to be able to experiment on a cadaver, and I believe a real-world application and seeing everything would help me to get past that hump.
Are all of us within earshot of their conversation?
Oh,
right now?
absolutely, yeah.
All right. Can't you just come with us to deal with those cannibals? There should be lots of cadavers there.
What?
Old elf wizard man.
If you keep talking like that, I am going to magically bind your mouth. He doesn't know that's a spell that's been invented yet or not.
Bind mouth.
Certainly try.
But yes,
You got a mage knight behind you. You ain't counterspelling shit.
Oh, he's ready. He'll fucking swing. Just
It's like, let me do it.
yeah, I'll fuck you up. Remember, every Eldritch Knight wasn't smart enough to be a wizard, so they resent wizards.
They're,
know,
they're
They're the
jocks that became the security guards and janitors.
Yeah.
Well, how would you counter a well-trained meta mage?
You mean sorcerers?
Well, yeah, I suppose.
Ooh! She raises her hand excitedly.
Cosette.
Before the encounter, you preemptively cast your detect magic, so you can see the swirling of magical energies and the weave's distribution around them before they start doing it. If you're able to do that and guesstimate as precisely as you can to the spell they're actually casting, you can practically counterspell it.
It's a bright student you have there.
Top marks in all written exams.
How would you counter hemomantic magic?
She'll point at Lily. Or Adendu.
Then realize that Dent is a skeleton.
Yeah. Oh, she knows. She's in necromancy. She don't give a fuck. Like. But if we're talking about the higher magics, as written and theorized by the Sangeese notes. Oh, also, I should probably add in that I'm the student who discovered the Sangeese notes. Just saying. Hidden away in our archives.
You'll have to let me see those sometime.
It was immediately confiscated, and the specific knowledges of it was written out of my mind, consensually, I believe.
Huh.
Yeah.
Right.
But yes, countering hemomantic magics, the easiest application of it is to not get close enough to them. Most of their spells have a very close proximity range, whereas you can choose to utilize other forms of magics in combats, keeping to ranges of 120 feet or further away.
You're quite right in that regard.
So this is some kind of tyrannical information controlling dystopia, then.
Several blood mages
Yes.
attempted a coup.
So
I will explain the reason why we have these rules in a moment.
Well, you said
course that.
attempted.
They clearly failed. Yes, Professor.
I'm currently going to have a meeting with the Conjuration. Once that is done, meet me in my office. We will have a intermediate examine. And I will judge how you deal with a cadaver. Depending on this, I will allow, depending on how you deal with this, I will potentially allow you to accompany me once I leave the school.
Very well. Just so you're aware, I know you haven't been in your office in a while. You may find roughly 20 written notes of request from me in there. You can throw them into the fire since we're having this conversation personally.
Right.
Yeah. I thought I was being ignored.
No, I've just been dealing with several things, one of which has brought me back here. Lily.
Yes.
No problem at all. I'm going to thank you very much, Professor. And as she begins walking away, Miriam, you see a portal opens up right next to you, and there is a
Oh no, what did you do?
Nope, not that one. There is a... What the fuck was his race again?
Talking about
Yes, a moon elf sitting down at his chair who looks at you and gestures
Oh no.
at the
What's
front desk.
What?
We
the
all
Randall's opinion of
walk
moon
in.
elves?
I apologize for this sudden interruption, Archmage Thorn. I'm afraid I've
Nonsense.
crossed something that requires your expertise.
Oh, I'm more than happy to assist you with any number of things. And he looks over at you, Thorndil, and kind of like tilts his head. My, I don't think I recognize you. And you must be at least 800 years old.
Well, if I was about 132 then, so 972 approximately.
Are you an elder elf who is not noted within any of our research and knowledges?
Well, I don't know precisely what you mean by elder elf, but well, I
Any
suppose
elf higher than the age of 769.
Nice.
Yeah, I suppose.
Wow, remarkable. Good job staying outside of all the censors. I'm dreading when I get that old and they have to, put me on file.
Well, that's not.
But anyways, Professor, Sky Speaker is your surname, correct?
Correct, thank you.
How may I assist you today?
We are hoping that you may help us with some theoretical calculations of time displacement between planes, and if you have a device referred to as someone who actually can pronounce whatever the hell he said.
Planar spectrometer.
Planar spectrometer. That's... You're funny, Professor. That is an old theory that we ruled out ages ago. It's impossible to actually function. The depths of knowledge you would need would require a facility on the outskirts of our known universe and nearing into the beyond in order to monitor everything properly as it cycles through and calculates it instantaneously. It's impractical to aspire to such a thing. And when you're talking to him, you realize all across his walls, his desk, the ceiling, there are artifacts and food from so many various places in the realm and beyond. He seems to be a hoarder.
Well,
However, for calculating, may I inquire as to which realm in particular you're intrigued in traversing the thresholds onto?
You're muted.
Sorry. He teleported us in, so everything's closed in this room, right?
Absolutely. The only thing in here other than your group is the Eldritch Knight who's still breathing down Thorndil's neck.
Gotcha.
just hot and heavy.
So give me a reason. Give me a reason.
Unfortunately, potentially either the realm of Lala Cruza or Condrix.
Ooh, Condrix is a wonderful location. Very similar. It is one of the parent planes to Exandria itself. And because of that, has distinct similarities and very notable differences as well. More of a tyrannical direct rule over its political systems and schemings than many individuals would like, but if you have an elf with you, they should be capable of smoothing over about 90% of those issues for you manually. We tend to stay out of their dealings with their magical intuition since they are not very progressed like we are when it comes to magic. They have more of a regressive mind state when it comes to their religious studies and aspirations because of that. However, Lala Cruza, very similar in their aspirations towards religion, however, distinctly different than the other one. Less organized, socially speaking, and incredibly diverse communities of individuals that rule over different aspects and regions of their respective landscapes. About 90% of the world itself is comprised of a jungle. 5% of it makes up for the very small ocean that resides there, and the last 5% of it is a primary city that it has. I think I visited there once ages ago, maybe about 80 or so years. It was very feral, and I believe I lost the tip of my pinky as well. While I was, and he just keeps going unless you interrupt him. This man just filters knowledge.
Well,
Would
Yes,
you
we're
have-
aware of it might have a cannibal problem.
Oh, yes, of course.
yeah. So while he's blabbing away, Lily will kind of turn to her companions. Right. So based off what I'm hearing, we need to either deal with trying to find a tree in a forest, or trying to deal with tyrannical elves.
Well, that all depends on, from what he said on contracts, if we can know exactly how each race is viewed and how religious people are favored, based off what he's saying is more highly regarded than those of the arcane nature, we might be able to smooth things over more easily on contracts with Thorndale with us.
I'm sorry, ladies. Am I boring you?
No, sorry. It was not about boredom. It's about simply.
Please pay attention.
I have been paying attention. and
I need a
I
charisma
was-
save from you since he is a professor and you did attend this school.
fuck.
Yeah, you did.
Professor is lecturing.
Instead of save, could I do a deception check?
You know, it's a
Which is
save to
worse.
actually. Shh.
Okay.
You have been whipped to respecting this man.
Hey, Lily is.
And
So
Lily,
Respecting this man.
for the first time for many of you, stops talking.
I will look to the professor. You need to teach me that trick.
It's about commanding respect and earning it properly. Anyways,
Excuse me, Professor Thorn, was it?
please raise your hand.
No. These planes you're talking about here, do you know whether any of them would be likely to contain, have outcroppings of time crystals or similar things? Or perhaps star essence?
Oh, well, the Astral Sea is flooded with the numerous different stars and locations that have moved in from the great beyond into our known universe itself, many of which have died off and have seeped out of much of their magical potentials. But a few of them still have astral dreadnoughts that curate the area, and it's their droppings that imbue it with just a little bit more power to keep it solidified. In fact, I think there is an Eldritch dreadnought out there who is rumored to have swallowed one of these abandoned stars that have fallen into our universe. But as for the crystal you were speaking of, all of that has been placed into the plane of time itself. Notably, a location that I personally have never been to, but I'm very curious to discover what creatures hold dominion there.
So, you're saying that time has been condensed into one plane?
Oversimplification of it. The vast magic of time and the visible visualization of it has been condensed into its own plane of existence. However, that plane is connected to every other one simultaneously, excluding specifically the shade. Yes, excluding the shade.
So
Wow.
there are time crystals there then, still.
There would be, yes. In theory. There's no written confirmation of that, since nobody has, well, at least to my knowledge, ever traversed over into the plane of time.
Right.
However, it is theorized that its closest proximity to any other realm would be to the Abyss itself, since the Abyss has been noted recently. Oh, such a marvelous discovery if you didn't hear. The Abyss is a perpetual state of a time loop that occurs to anybody who is stuck in there and becomes demonized by the natural essences of everything that is in there.
Right. Well, yes. But, well, actually, yes, there should be time crystals also somewhere in the abyss, from
Quite-
what I gather.
Quite possible.
Well, anyway, we also need to go to the 500 lair. Guys, just so you know. I need...
What?
Yes, I just need the heart of it.
I'm sorry, the heart of. I just
100th
got
layer?
back.
The 500th layer of the abyss. You need the heart of it.
Yes.
What?
That is a remarkable souvenir.
Well, it's to come to fulfill my project, complete my crafting project, as it were.
So, Lily and Adendu hear the sword from the Eldritch Knight just gets unlatched from its sheath, just barely.
Lily's just looking at him and look with her hand going like, "Hey, calm down for a sec, calm down."
Yes,
Yeah,
why don't you
listen.
explain Thurandril, Order of the Scribe Wizard from the land of Avalier?
Wait, Avalia? You're from Avalia?
Yes. What you
And
all...
he stands up super excited and runs over to a bookshelf and pulls out a book and opens it up, and there is a very distinctly yellow leaf with 5 prongs sticking out of it that he has pressed in the book. Avalia!
Yes. What about it?
This is the last leaf that fell during its attack and takeover.
What do you mean takeover? By what?
Well, most recently we found out who was actually to blame for it. For generations, elves as a whole have been persecuted and murdered for any of us that live longer than 200, 300 years. I myself just passed my 302nd birthday, and I'm very excited about that.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. However, large locations where they had a very strong, powerful, and predominant elven mage scholastics were attacked over and throughout history. Roughly about 600 years ago, Avalier was overran by a group of unquenchable barbarians led by supposedly a singular mage. All of the records, including the Great Avalier Library, were completely destroyed by these individuals, and every single known living member of the Order of the Scribe was hunted down and murdered. It was only this leaf that remains as one of their trees that guarded and protected and hid away their home that still exists. I gently repose it every week just to make sure that it stays pristine, and it will never leave our historical records.
Leave.
Well, that is very tragic news.
Oh, I apologize. Sometimes I get caught up in the recounting of history and forget that history is actually something people experience.
Right. Well, is the city ruined then? Where is it?
The location is unknown. All of the recounts of it have been passed down through the ages and have changed. You would need a remarkable team of archaeologists to be able to uncover its origin. Unless, of course, you remember where it is.
Well, I know.
Pull up a map. Could you
know where it
where it's supposed to be?
Where it was.
I'll do one better for you, and he pulls out a globe.
Right.
That's not right. It should be flat.
Don't you dare start.
I will expel you.
Joke's on you, I've already graduated.
Technically, you dropped out.
See,
Hey,
Thurandril
that's
sort
not
of
true.
goes quiet for a moment, and just seems to be very thoughtful. Before he turns to the globe and yes, sorry, it's. I realized everyone I knew is gone. But yes, It's shattered teeth. What's this? It's supposed to be the smile of Exandria. That's what we call it. There was a whole continent there.
Shattered teeth. Oh yeah, over here.
Yeah.
That's in the south, correct?
Yep, all the way at the bottom right.
What, over here?
No, if
Bottom
you go-
Bottom right.
Oh,
going.
okay. Yeah, oh, God, I was way off. Oh. Well, that territory is intraversable.
How so?
There is a corrupted storm out there that has persisted for the better part of 500 years. It destroys any object that attempts to move inside, and even if the storm is not capable of overturning the vessel somebody either flies or sails in there, very large monstrosities of the deep lurk nearest to the surface, since it's still dark due to the storm's nature. It is the one location where they are able to ascend from the depths in order to crush and destroy anything there. However, in theory, I suppose, if you were to go there, I could lend you the leaf. It should still be attuned to that exact location. But I don't know what that would do, if there's anything still there.
Right. Well, there might be a few belongings I had with me that might also be connected. But yeah, this is a bit disturbing. Just to allay your fears a little bit, this item I'm crafting it's this. I hold up the orb. It's meant to serve as a planar, dimensional anchor, if you will, to stabilize the area you're in if you are exploring other planes or existences. If I complete it, it might be able to provide a safe zone if we were to someday go there. But I would need, well, as I mentioned, I would need heart of the 500th layer of the abyss. I need essence of time. I need a few things.
Well, I am the Archmage of Conjuration, if you require any assistance. I am always happy to speak to somebody with knowledge of history of old. And I'm sorry if these are emotional for you, but as a member of the Order of the Scribe, I believe you can understand the importance of preserving this history, as well as preserving the knowledge of these generations, so it cannot truly be lost and destroyed as it has been.
And if it helps, you said scribe and stuff, and because I see you have a quill, like we've got plenty of blank books here for you to maybe record down some of your stuff.
Do you have a grimoire?
I have a few tomes. I suppose I could lend them to you. I mean, most of them are just personal diaries and such belonging to Master Arendir, but yeah, there should be something of interest, I suppose.
You have Van Gogh's sketchbook? Really? That's what you just said to this man?
Yeah. And you see he's visibly stopping himself from getting too excited.
Are you saying we're not going to see an archmage squeal in joy?
He's an elf, first and foremost.
Which is even rare.
And he's
no.
being respectful to the man who's grieving the loss of his whole community.
Yeah, no, he's stoic on the outside, but
He-
inside he's a squealing little girl.
Yes. As all elves are.
Well,
That explains why half elves are so dramatic.
I believe proper introductions are in order then, Professor Thorn. I am Tharandil Qualricion,
It's a pleasure to meet you, Thorndale.
last member of the Order of the Scribes, I suppose.
For now.
For now.
For now.
Yes, that's optimistic. No, that's not.
Thorndale Calrissian.
Is your home a
Fucking
city in the
serious.
sky?
Actually, it was, if I remember Avila correctly.
It was.
I do wish to get us back onto why we came here. Would you happen to have anything connected to Lala Cruza or Kondrax?
And how much of a time difference travel between the two would be?
Yes.
I believe I may have a contact who has an object associated with that plane. Now, he's a
An asshole.
Professor, I would hope that you understand, in our line of work, sometimes the laws of the mundane do not apply to us when it comes to specific aspirations and the need to preserve history and knowledge.
I turn and show him the symbol on my back.
That's why I was hoping. Excuse me, sir, would you mind leaving us alone in here? I assure you, if any of them try to get out of hand, that I have enough safety precautions in my office to handle them. And the Eldritch Knight finally backs off and will leave.
By the way, you should give those guys, well, at least that guy, breath mint.
Noted. I have a friend from Marquette. He deals in the trades of contraband and foreign objects from various planes and locations. He is rumored to have a larger collection than even I do, and I have seen portions of his collection at times, and he was very, very happy to let me visually bask in them. However, he was not too happy at the offering an exchange of coin for them. However, recently, he lost his availability to conduct his business and trade within the Empire, which stunts his business quite a large amount. I believe if anybody were to successfully engage with him and set up a contact liaison within the Empire, he might be willing to forfeit an item or two, or at the very least, allow you to procure or purchase them. Keep in mind, none of this is, by technical sense, legal, but I assure you, in a magely sense, very ethical.
I look to Tolsha.
I have a group of contacts that I can try and hook him up with. Also, you're speaking to a necromancer, a blood cleric, Lily,
And do.
a Dendu,
And whatever the hell Theridil
and
is.
Therendil. This is by far probably one of the most groups that would be considered suspicious by any other law-abiding people.
I've conducted my research when it comes to the legendary siblings, and I was more so concerned about the influence that your incredibly lawful paladin sibling had upon all of you in these matters.
Well, he's definitely tempered us out, but right now he has a wife and kids, so he's not with us.
So no problem. Very well. You are going to have to find yourselves over to Marquette.
Wait,
Right.
The moment
You
Bernie
guys are
retires, you
siblings?
guys immediately get into
Took the life of crime.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
see like the meanwhile cutaway, and then Bernie's like stands up in his seat. Why do I sense heresy?
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually do have a marker for Marquette I was given by the other group.
Yep.
I also have one because we have now an estate there.
Oh yeah, you do.
We have a way to get there. And also, yes, Therendil, Miriam and I are siblings. Half siblings.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
originally a Goliath.
That's more peculiar.
And I was originally a full flesh blood dragonborn, which you already know, and also his sister.
By
Right.
choice.
Lily's, at least Marion and Tulsha can tell by Lily's tone. She's like, she's trying to fuck with Therendil a bit.
So, Tulsa, were you also originally something other than
No, always been a UNT.
always a snake-like lady?
And Adendu's practically family now too.
Yes.
Who knows? Maybe there's some long lost ancestor to all of you. How strange would that be?
Huh.
I wonder if there's a way you can test bones to find out ancestry.
The marrow.
just-
It's incredibly painful, however.
Looks to Adendu.
The spinal fluid in particular is the most potent.
The most painful.
Anyways, yes.
He has not told us the time difference yet. That was the main thing that we asked him for.
Yeah. I'm getting to everything. The time differential between us and them, I actually believe we are currently experiencing. We're after the solstice, which means we are currently experiencing the shift of circumstance and the thinning of the veils. We should actually be tying up with them fairly well.
To a near 1-to-1 ratio.
Near 1-to-1. Not perfectly, but within acceptable margins to not have to compensate for.
Right.
Now, are you interested in me setting up my meeting with you?
Yes, please.
He is in Anjarel. He owns a lovely little shop that does trading of generalized trinkets on the surface. And every Wednesday night, they have an auction that happens secretly below deck. He opens up one of his drawers, fumbles around, and pulls out a coin, a very ostentatious looking coin that's gold on the outside but has these like black triangles. There's 4 of them inside of it. 3 of them. Kind of looks like the Triforce, and puts that on the table. If you hand that over, you will be accepted into their auction that happens secretly underground. And if you get into that, you just need to be looking for Tyson. Tyson Mikhail.
Hate you so much.
This, to his friends, he's known as Mike Tyson.
Well, he's very old nowadays, but at one point in time, he was renowned as one of the most powerful combatants in all of the land.
Known to punch a guy out in a single punch.
Oh no, he still harbors that ability. I saw it last year. Some man tried stealing from him, and he clocked him in the jaw so hard, the jaw literally snapped off of the man's body.
Well,
Sounds
at least
violent.
he didn't bite his ear off or something.
That was years ago. He's much more docile now. Anyways, if you're going there and you're going to converse with him, just mention that all of you know me. Please be respectful to him, and please keep in mind that he is a very needed contact of mine that works outside of the Lyceum. And I would like for that relationship to, well, stay firm. And if it does, Miriam, I'd be very happy for us to work on future projects to get together, as needed.
Well, keep that in mind. I might need help. I actually have a project in mind I might need your spatial awareness for, but we'll deal with that later.
Always happy.
As do I, but that is for later as well.
Always happy to help.
Before we leave, what's the monetary situation in the world now? You still use coins and money, right?
Gold,
Yes.
silver, and platinum are the primary distributions of wealth. There's currently an individual who's trying to gather up electrum, but that hasn't had actual monetary value here in quite some time.
Right.
I just Thoradol checks his pouch. It's all electrum.
No!
Well, I do have some electrum, but I'm a bit short on coin apparently after someone ransacked my home. And well, I was thinking, seeing as it has more, I would say, historical value, some sentimental value to me personally, I suppose, but I've transcribed it quite some time ago. If you would like to purchase Master Arendir's personal journal, I would be inclined to sell it to you for a suitable price.
How much would you like?
As an archaeologist,
It's priceless.
if I can tell you the exact worth someone would pay for this, Tharendil. As an
Yes?
archaeologist.
And as
Okay.
and as
My
someone
t-
who
Sorry, go ahead, Lily.
and as someone who likes economic stuff, can Lily also aid in like getting the highest price to offer? So
Well,
that
would
he
be
would have to have you down?
negotiating. Tosha's literal ability is she knows the price.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not a question. She knows it.
And if he's done his research, he knows that Tulsha is a certified archaeologist.
Yep. Oh.
Let's say we'll knock off 15% because it's a donation.
Sure. I would like to look at it. Do you draw it out so he can look at it?
Sure.
He'll look and take in exactly how well maintained it was. I mean, no weather on it because you were in a sealed container. No dust, no wear. I mean, wear from opening and closing, but yeah, he looks at it and he seems to be obsessively learning as much as he can about it. Yes, I'm just checking its condition and
Come on now, Professor.
authenticity. This is whew. So Tolsha, you estimate that though technically this is priceless, yes, it presumably would be sellable for in a black market style deal, because those are the only places that they would actually purchase something this historical. It would be sellable for 50 to 60,000 gold.
Holy shit.
It
My
is
rough-
on the same spectrum as Grimoire Arcanists.
Oh, wow.
My rough estimate, with my skills as an archaeologist, the price of this historical tome, given the condition and wear and tear on an auction sale, would range between 50 to 60,000 gold.
Right. Well, that should be good for getting started.
Would you mind if we label it at 50?
Sure. Let's.
And,
Yes.
of course, the perks of a good, healthy relationship.
Of course, yes. And
Reach
seems
over.
like a yes.
Oh, just to shake your hand, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll shake his hand back. Yes, it seems like a good place to get some acquaintances, at the very least.
Of course. And he audibly squeals as he takes it and begins placing it down on its own separate table and just looking down, excited as any mage would be to have something like this.
Oh, and Professor,
Yeah.
since we're probably going to be spending at least a day here just because we can't really teleport anywhere else for today. So, you can catch up. I have a meeting with Professor Alora, or Archmage Alora,
Very well.
and to get to.
Well, pleasure to meet you as well. Oh, that reminds me, Marion, before you go, have you found a student to directly mentor yet?
I am actually have a meeting to interview a potential one after this.
Oh, that is very good. I know your caliber is nearing upon that of an archmage like myself. I assume you haven't had the proper formalities of ritualistic intent given to you that all professors receive yet.
No, I have not.
Well, allow me to educate you a little bit. One of the aspects of becoming an archmage is the ability to rightfully mentor a student into graduation. It's one of the prerequisites.
Right.
Just figured I would let you be aware of that.
I didn't know if you were stopped talking or were you looking something up.
No, that was it. That was it. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I figured there was an academic requirement.
Yes.
So I have to teach them and make sure they live long enough to graduate.
Correct.
Would you like me to cast Death Ward on them every day, Marion?
Yes.
You'd be surprised how many professors opt for that. I didn't personally. Then again, I lost 2 students.
To which plane?
One of them was on Zodiac, the other one here.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the cannibal place.
Oh, heavens, no. If I was able to go there, I would simply hand you over an artifact that would allow you to go there yourself.
That's
Not
fair.
put you through this whole ushering yourself around the world, traveling and experiencing everything Exandria has to offer, just to be able to head over to a new, different plane and experiencing that has to offer.
Yes, you have this nice book from over 1,000 years ago written by someone who came up with those spells.
Oh, I'm very excited. Anyways, I have some research to conduct. Pleasure meeting all of you. I will see you around.
Thank you so much for your time, Professor.
You are most welcome. And I think this is where we're going to call the session this week, everybody. GG's.
Before we leave the door, I'm gonna just ask, do you know where my office is, actually?
You've never been to your office?
I had to
I know.
miss orientation.
I know. It's just... Yes, the eastmost wing inside of the school, and just so you're aware, we're on the west side right now. The eastmost wing, you'll see a pair of double doors that have the symbol of necromancy on the outside. It's adorned with all the proper gothic aesthetic of many necromancers that they seem to enjoy. The students choose what the doors look like and get to change it. It's a nice little project for them to work on. You can't miss it. It's literally made out of bones.
Wait, isn't that the room where all the goth kids like to hang out because no one would occupy it at the time?
Yes! That's what we're talking about, the necromancy students.
Marion, I'm accompanying you this time. I gotta see this.
But
See
anyways.
the bones of my ancestors.
Oh my
Honestly-
god.
So, anyways,
Honestly, Adendu, you might be considered pretty famous if you walk in like, oh my god.
it's a conscious undead.
One of the
Miriam
students being
did
like,
it.
When,
Wait,
when
what?
I grow up, I want to be just like you, Mrs. Adendu.
Anyways, we're calling it here. GG's, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.